What's up, everyone? It's me again, and today I kind of got a little bit of a special kind of tutorial going on. This is my reskinning tutorial, reamped, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all through the reskinning process in detail. Then I'm going to give you a few tips, tricks, and some texturing techniques that will help you improve your reskins and the basic locomotive. So we're going to start out in Content Manager. You're going to find a locomotive. I'm going to use an SD70 Mac. Right click on it and click clone, okay? Because you don't want to mess with the original locomotive, so you always clone. Then you select your locomotive and then you will rename it. We're going to rename this one BNSF SD70 Mac. Let's see here. We'll actually, because I have this paint scheme down, we'll do the Raft SD70 Mac. Now wait for Content Manager to respond. Go to Edit and then Edit in Explorer. This is going to pull up this menu here that you want to use. This is going to give you lots of information, so do not exit out of this, otherwise you have to reopen it and it's a pain in the butt, so keep it open. So a bunch of things you'll need to use: the edit 9FG 4BI 13238. That's going to be how you identify it when you go into your user data folder. Now you have to use the mesh body and the config file. Now the config file, you will have to use that if you wish to change the engine sounds, the horn, or the bogies, which we will have to do for this specific locomotive so it matches the paint scheme. So if we're going to start out in here. It's going to pull up a bunch of menus or a bunch of folders. What you want to do, there's this program that I suggest you get. It is called Trains Mesh Viewer. I already have it open up. I was viewing an SD70 Mac in it, trying to figure a few things out. So I use it out of that. Now, if your computer is like mine, and you have it set the IM folders open up in Trains Mesh Viewer, all you have to do is double click the body, open it up, and there you go. See? It's like that. And there's our locomotive in Mesh Viewer. So this means every time you export your locomotive into Mesh Viewer, you can review it. So you can view all the changes you've done without having to save and commit and all that stuff. And it really helps. So I highly suggest you get Trains Mesh Viewer. Now we have to use another folder. Real quick. I forgot to mention, if you don't have your computer set up like this with how you open it up with this, you will have to open up Mesh Viewer. You'll have to open it in your in the Trains 12 folder, and then you'll have to use the edit 9FG4BI 13238. Now that's just my number. It'll change. I will guarantee it will change for you guys, or it'll be new asset. So be watching out for that. So now we have to open up the main folders. There's two that we're going to mainly be using. We're using this folder and the bump folder. Just to get something straight, we're using this folder, so if we need to know where an object goes, or like the lights or a coupler or something you want to add, you can do that. However, you can choose to just go off the bat and just use this. So we can minimize that if you have to, and we're going to open with GIMP. It's going to load up like this. You're going to maximize that. I choose to maximize. Holy crap, why is it glitching? Yeah, it's lag. Then we have to go into the Layers tab, open new layer, and I typically choose the white layer. Now, that's not because I'm racist or anything, but that's because it'll work better. I know it will. So what I just did, and here's what you'll have to do in GIMP, go to the Windows, Dockable Dialogues, go to Layers, and that'll bring up your Layers tab. What I just did is it will put the white layer over the bump layer. There's two green arrows, you want to move it down like that. Now for this, now make sure you have your bump layer selected. Or not the bump layer, you have the white layer selected under it, and then do that. Now select your bump layer, go to Colors, and Colorize. There's a Lightness tab, and you're going to bring the hue and saturation all the way down, and your lightness is all the way up, so it looks like that. So, now that we have this done, you have it set up in two layers. We do not want that. We want it as one layer. So we're going to merge visible layers and just click merge. So now you have this, which is Butamus, or beautiful, if you don't know what I just said. So now you have this. Now you're going to open up a new layer, okay? Now make sure it's set on transparency. That'll be placed over this. So if you're just one of the oh, excuse me. If you're one of the newer reskinners to the community, what I suggest you do is don't worry about doing additional layers. Just start out with this until you kind of get the basic idea. So we're going to choose our orange color. I'm going to just choose orange because I can. In this Layers tab, selected the layer 1, click the Normal tab, or there's a drop-down arrow. Click it, go down to Multiply. It'll do that. That's a good thing. So now you have all the details viewed in and you don't have to redraw everything out. Or you can do it on overlay, but then it looks like that. It's kind of pathetic and puny. But, I mean, if you want to get a faded look, I suggest using overlay. So you can get different effects from that. So multiply and overlay, that's kind of what you want. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go over some texturing techniques that'll really help you get your locomotive looking just fabulous. So I'm going to pause the video real quick because I'm almost up in my time, so I'll edit this later. Alright, so now we're going to go over how to texture this. I mean, it's already textured, it's looking good, but you want the textures and the details to really show up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our Layers tab and New Layer. Now that we have this open, we want it above everything else right now. So go down to your go down to your Filters tab and then go to Render, Clouds, and Solid Noise. We're going to start out with Solid Noise. First of all, bring up the detail to 15. That'll make it look like that. You can make it turbulent, tileable, whatever that is. New seed. And you're going to bring that up to the way that it is, like that. Alright, so here we are again with this. Now it kind of looks like this. You can use New Seed tab to find something that you like. This means that every time I do my texturing, it's different every time. So I think I'm going to use this 11 for this and click OK. So it's going to come up like this. Now this is where I like to use that overlay tab. And it does that. Now, first off, what it does is it's placed over the original textures. That is a correct statement. You can kind of tell it gets a little bit darker. Now what we want to do is we kind of want to make it stand out a little bit more. Alright, so we want to make stuff start filling out again. So go to the Filters tab and go to Blur. If you go down to Motion Blur, you get up this menu. Make sure it's set to linear, and you can kind of change the different angles that it'll be at and the length of it. So this will kind of really bring out a blurred effect, and that's something we want. So then after you click OK, it'll motion blur the crap out of this. And it's hard to tell still. It's really hard to tell, guys, how this is working. I mean, it works, trust me on this, because I've used it on P42 from J-Kun. I used his P42. I kind of just redid a bunch of things on it, so, and it turned out actually really good. Okay, so you can kind of tell we got a little bit of texture coming out. So now what we want to do is go down to lights and shadows, and this is kind of what I do. Lighting effect. This kind of makes it a little bit shinier. So I place it in the middle. I go to light number 6. And the distance, I kind of turn that down a little bit. That way it's just a little dot and you can't notice it. So this will kind of make it light. And it'll spread out. So it's... See, now it's lighter. And if we were to put on this, makes it look good. Again, though, it's not showing up very good. So we want to go down to noise, HSV noise. I selected the wrong layer. Make sure you're on layer 2 when you're doing all this. Okay, that's too high of that. What? So you mess with the values until you find something you like. And we'll see how this turns out. Okay. See, now those are those textures. So one more time we're going to go into here, render, clouds, and fog. One thing I've tried to do, this is another way to bring out a shine effect, is use the, when we go into the render, clouds, fog thing, it'll give you a fog color. Now, that fog color should be white. You can make it black if you want. You can make it any color you want, basically. What I'm doing right now is this is going to help bring out a shine effect almost. And what we'll do is, I can't really go into that right now, either right now, but what you can do, and I'll show you this, is you can also use a smudge effect, and again, like I said, I'll show you this. So when you have this, set the turbulence to really low, around 2, opacity, and then just click OK. Because I duplicated that, I'm going to get rid of one of those layers. Now we're on this layer, set it to, what is it? What did I do? Is it, I'm trying to remember this because I just found this out. Yeah, set it to soft light. Crap. No, overlay. We want it set to overlay. So there, now you kind of get a little bit more detail effect to it. Now what we want to do is one more of those. It's a lot of filters, and I'm going to explain something in a minute. So go back to fog again, and this time you want something around a gray color close to black. So I'll use that color. I'll click OK. Same deal. Actually, I'm sorry. Real quick. Oh, I'm really out of it. Bring up the turbulence to like 6.7 for this. Okay. Now click overlay. You want this set to overlay and bring that under. So there's your textured locomotive. So we'll start putting paint on this and then I'll show you how to export. Alright, so now we have some paint on the locomotive and you can see the textures. They're helping bring out some of the detail, right? Well, we want to make a little bit more effect to this, as some would say. So what we're going to do is go up to new layer, transparency, and in our layers tab we kind of want this to be above the paint layer. So now we're going to take our little paintbrush tool and get a white color. We're going to do that. Now what we're doing is it's going to add a little bit of a shine to it when we're going to smudge it up here. Like that. Okay, so now it's looking okay. So we want to set this one to overlay, I think. Was it overlay? Hold on a second. Alright, I was correct. You set that layer to overlay. Now you're going to take what is it? Airbrush tool, and you're going to simply just do small little clicks. That'll help bring in kind of a detail like that. Bring in a little bit of shine. Like that. Add some on the bottom to there. Because these brighter colors too, they'll need some shine. Like that. So there. You can kind of see that. So now we're going to export it. So save as and go into some kind of drive that you have and make a folder. Name it Reskins. So we'll call this one Raft SD70, and we'll save it. Okay, so you have to save as in that little folder. Now go to export, go to your drive, TS12 folder, user data, editing, and remember that little number we get with this. 323238. So find that number, and you get this menu. Now, I don't know why I have it set up to GIF. Name it map1.tga. Now export. It should, if you did it right, come up with this replace. So click replace. This menu will come up. Export images TGA. Deselect RLE compression. You do not want that, and click export. Now we go into our map. Hey, look, nothing's changed yet. Click the body IM in the file. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's our locomotive. Look at this, guys. That's amazing, right? Yeah. So that's how you reskin, guys. And that's going to conclude this tutorial, as I do not have all day. So a few quick pointers I want to put out there for you guys. There are going to be some cases where you're going to have to draw in details. I'll have a tutorial up for that later. But it's not as hard as it looks. In fact, it's really easy, and if you get some practice, you guys will be able to do it no problem. Like, I promise you, no problem. It's a good skill to even learn, so when you get up to those situations, if you need to redo someone's doors or something, you can draw it in and make it look good. So there are a few cases and projects I'm working with right now currently that I have to do that with. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, comments, and or concerns, please leave them in that comment box below. I will try to reply to them ASAP. As soon as I see the notification, I will reply to them. And I will try to help you guys out. So thanks for watching. If you wish to see more, help support me, give it a like, maybe subscribe if you're feeling good about yourselves today, if you want to keep living. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and thank you for all the support you've been giving me over the past years. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.